Broadcasting live, this is the Handicappers Report, brought to you by the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany, and CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today.
Good morning. Welcome to the Handicappers Report on this Saturday morning. I'm Seth Merrow, kicking off the new year, 2022. So it'll only be another 2 months that I write the wrong date on the checks. But we have celebrated nice racing yesterday. There was some stakes action down at Gulfstream, and Brian Nadeau will join me to take a look at Gulfstream today with more stakes action. Aqueduct back in action on Thursday, a couple days ago. Oaklawn got back in action after their holiday break yesterday. So some fun racing the last couple of days leading to the end of the year, New Year's Eve yesterday. Folks celebrated, and now we kick off the new year with more great racing. And as I promised, Brian Nadeau live from Florida to take a look at some Gulfstream. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Seth. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everybody back home as well. And 2022 is here. I'm sure a lot of us are looking forward to this, and hopefully it'll bring a better year or more prosperous to everybody. So happy to be here. And like you kind of alluded to, another great card on a Saturday at Gulfstream Park. We got 5 stakes for newly minted 3-year-olds. The weather here, as I look outside, is just absolutely beautiful. So looking forward to getting down there in a few minutes and having at it.
And coming up, speaking of the calendar turns, and that means last year's 2-year-olds all became 3-year-olds today, technically. And the 3-year-old action kicking off, as you say, down at Gulfstream, but around the country as well. Top of the hour at 10 o'clock, Racing Across America. I will be joined by Dave Litvin, who you probably run into Dave down there at least occasionally, but Dave also does a column for the Blood Horse every week, and this week he took a look at some of the 3-year-old stakes action for today. So with Dave, we'll take a look at the Mucho Macho Man down there, and the Sham out in California, the Jerome in New York, Smarty Jones down at Oaklawn. And then a little bit after that, and I'll ask your opinion, because I'm sure, like the rest of the racing world, you were looking forward to it last Sunday. Your opinion on Flightline, because on Racing Across America, I invited Terry Finley from West Point to come and talk about last week's just phenomenal performance from Flightline in the Malibu, a 118 buyer figure. And immediately after the race, all I could do was text Terry Finley and Tom Bellhouse and just say, wow, it was some performance. 3 spaced races during the year, and you wondered if that maiden race would be validated in the next level allowance, and then you wondered if that would all be validated in the Grade 1 Malibu, and he just got better as the year went along.
He won? I didn't see that stuff, actually. Yeah, that was awesome. So cool to see, and he's a real superstar, and it'll be interesting. I think I saw John Sadler said they're aiming for the Met Mile and a 4-race campaign, I think I saw. So, yeah, super cool. Hopefully they can keep him healthy and keep him going. I know the connection said, he's a horse that wants to run farther. So obviously the sky's the limit. It seemingly has been since day one. And it's always nice to see them, step up and deliver when the competition gets tougher, and certainly with Dr. Schivel in there. Triple Tap could be okay as well, and he just absolutely, laughed at that field. Dr. Schivel didn't run his race, but I think even Mark Glatt said in his quote, he said we would have been a distant second anyway. Just a freakish performance again, and it's so cool to see. Racing needs a true superstar, and the life is good. Sounds like he's going to have a 4-year-old campaign, and you just like to think ahead always in this sport, and that's what we do. And man, he was just absolutely breathtaking. So it'll be interesting to see what Terry has to say. Congrats, as you mentioned and alluded to, Terry and Tommy, longtime friends of mine and yours, and two of the best guys. So congrats to them. They've got themselves a hell of a horse on their hands.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Looking forward to the conversation and getting Terry's thought. They have to be over the moon to have a horse like that, a real buzz horse, certainly, because as I say, after last Sunday's performance, everybody was kind of a buzz, given that 118, which was wound up to be the best buyer figure of the year. So it was some spectacular performance. Looking forward to some spectacular performances on this Saturday afternoon. We'll start with Gulfstream. Speaking of Gulfstream, always want to thank them for their sponsorship during the championship meet, sponsoring this program, some of the other programming and events here at Capital OTB during the championship meet. So again, thanks to the folks down at Gulfstream Park. And Brian, we kick things off today, Saturday, New Year's Day, 2022. The opener today on the synthetic for maiden claimers. How did you see race one?
Yeah, and the opener's at noon, Seth. So just everybody, make sure you take note of that. Not the traditional 12:30 post. We're at noon today and early pick 5 as well. It's a tough race. It's a spread race. My long shot play today as well. 10-6, 4, 11, 3 on the one sheet. The one sheet's really caught some traction the last couple of weeks, Seth. We're well over like a 230 ROI after being admittedly dismal the first week. So the ROI overall at Gulfstream, I think, is 195. So I'm pretty amped about that, and we're trying to get it up there over 2. I like to go long shot 6-1 or higher. I couldn't do it today. 5-1 is the best I could do. And Summer Shandy built the Renos, does a good job. Obviously, you know him, Seth, from up at Bond. He does a good job up there on the synthetics, and he claims this one, has run 4th twice in both career starts. Claims him from Tom Proctor, wheels him back, and I think, Seth, he had to know, you know what? This is a 2-year-old. As soon as they turn 3, I can put the Lasix on and maybe get a lot more improvement. Now, admittedly, there are 7 horses in here, first-time Lasix. So I get 8 horses, excuse me. I get that. Bill is a patient guy. He doesn't make a lot of claims. In fact, he dipped in and grabbed Summer Shandy. He says to me, he likes this horse and he can move. Poetic Code in second. Antonio Sano's got a big ROI on the Tapeta, well over 350. The other, Bill, I say the other, he's favored on the morning line. Merrow for Bill, and Emma Jane Wilson is down here for a little bit as well. And Bill and Emma Jane are 25% together. So Meccano's in the mix, board certifies in the mix. You get the picture. I want as much coverage as I can in the opener. The actual order with my long shot, 10-6, 4, 11, 3.
All right, let's turn the page. Race number 2 at Gulfstream on Saturday afternoon. We're looking at bottom level conditional claimers going the 1-turn mile.
9-8-6 for me, and I'm just going to use the 9 God's Promise and the 8 Kurt's a Keeper in this early pick 5 and hope I can get through. I think they're the 2 best horses. I like their outside posts here, going this elongated 1-turn mile. God's Promise really woke up off the claim from Jose D'Angelo last time to a rousing winner with a fast number, and Saez sticks aboard, and Jose's having himself a meet. So I think that bodes well. And then certainly Kurt's a Keeper off the Victor Barboza claim, 27% angle, and Victor's having himself a good meet as well. I think both of these horses, Paco's aboard, Kurt's a Keeper, I think they're better than the rest, and I like the post as well. We'll go Camp Pendleton in 3rd, but at 1 for 15 with 0 seconds and 4 thirds, you get the MO, so I'll keep him underneath. It's 9-8-6 in race 2, early pick 4 time as well, Seth.
Race number 3, Saturday afternoon. We are looking at more synthetic action, 5 furlongs on the Tapeta for conditional claimers.
Yeah, and I'm going to use 4 of these in the early pick 5, 3, 2, 4, 5, code name Lease on top. And I think, I know 12th Moon was so good winning on debut, but Lease or Maker and Gaffalione. Now, Mike Maker has struggled at the meet, admittedly, but this one gets to the Tapeta last time and just really looks good. Beating 25 maiden claimers, I get it. Now we're stepping up. I get that too. But, you judge him on just that one Tapeta race. And this filly by declaration of war was really, really strong. 8 on the thoroughgraphs. That's a big number for this group, so I put her on top. Certainly 12th Moon, if she runs back to the debut romp, is going to be tough to beat. But there are so many flags here, Seth. She is 5-year-old now, okay? She didn't debut until November of her 4-year-old season. She was in for 20 on debut. She's off by almost 8 lengths. And now she's back for 35. I mean, you would think maybe they'd find a starter for her or something where she couldn't claim. That was also on the dirt. Now she's trying to PETA. I'm just the old tread lightly angle comes to mind here. I think she will get bet off that win. And the barn is 1 for 20 on the Tapeta too. So there's just some some real red flags to me. I put her on Lucky Locke's favored on the morning line, I guess because of those New York races, I guess because of Luis Saez, but she's never been on the Tapeta or synthetic for that matter. Solid turf races in New York against better, but I'm going to try to beat her. I will use her though. And then Cozy Valentine is, she's got the 2 Woodbine Tapeta races and they weren't terrible. So that's worth mentioning and worth noting. I'll put her on the ticket. 3, 2, 4, 5, Seth in race 3.
The fourth race on Saturday afternoon kicks off stakes action. The Cash Run, as Brian noted earlier, 3-year-old stakes today, as they've all just turned 3 years old, technically, with the turn of the calendar page. The Cash Run, $100,000, 3-year-old fillies going a mile.
Yeah, the first of 5 stakes today. It's a really exciting card. 6-3-2 for me. 6-3 over the 2. I went with Fast and Flirty. So we talk a lot about these Kentucky 2-year-olds and the fields they've been facing and the size of the fields and the quality of the fields. And Fast and Flirty really, really improved in her second start. She was behind an easy, rousing winner on debut. And then Brendan Walsh, typical progression for Brendan. She improves in her next start. Now she's facing winners. She's stepping up. I get it. But she did also win at a mile last time. And that's a 1-turn mile at Churchill. So I think that's significant too. I like her in here from just a little bit off the pace. Number 3, Surreal Fantasy is 1 for 2 for Safi. Got to 2 turns last time in Romp, but a few things going on here. That was at Tampa against a lot lesser, and like I said, it was at 2 turns. Now she cuts back to 1 turn. She loped. She ran pretty fast, but she loped on the lead last time and then just drew off. The waters get deeper today, and I think she's going to get pressed a little bit too. So I'm going to play against her, at least on top at a short number. And then Kathleen O is a little bit of a wild card for Shug because she won on debut, but it was in the mud. She came from way out of it. It wasn't like an overly crazy fast race. So, I used her and I respect her, but if you're taking a win ticket at 5-2, that seems a little underlaid to me. I'm going to go 6-3-2 and a pretty compelling renewal of the Cash Run, who, of course, won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies here for the coach Wayne Lucas in 1999. I was actually sitting at the winner's circle, Seth. I won like 7th row folding chairs at the winner's circle in the lottery. It's just a fan back then. The old Gulfstream Park, like my favorite place on earth. And she won at like 31-1 that day. Same day Anise won, I think, at 30-1 in the juvenile. So.
You mentioned Kathleen O. The second and third place finishers came back to win. I didn't see what kind of numbers they fired, but that one's intriguing to me. But as you say, the price may indicate where you go with a horse like that. Yeah. Fifth race at Gulfstream, the Ginger Brew, $100,000. These are 3-year-old fillies. This time, a mile on the grass.
And I've got the single here to end this early pick 5. Opalina looks tough in here. It's 5 over to 7-3. Her body of work is just better than these. 9-5 on the morning line. Luis Saez is here. She ran pretty well with some trouble from a bad draw in the Jessamine at Keeneland. Now, I don't really know how good of a race that was. I don't think it's really truly great to quality, but she ran well, and she's not going to be that far back today. And this, at least on paper, this group is no great shakes. So I think she's going to be tough in here with the best rider we have down here in Luis Saez. Number 7, Luella Street in second for Jeremiah O'Dwyer. I thought she ran pretty good in the Tepid, to be completely honest with you. Got thrown to the wolves a little bit that day, but here she is 8th, yes, but she's beaten less than 3 lengths off at 46-1 off a slow maiden win. So she's moving forward. And is another one that seems to have upside in a race where nobody on paper at least is too great. A little love in luck, the 3. She did get the job done on the Tapeta last time, but she's got a couple decent turf races to start her career at Saratoga and Belmont. She's clearly a better horse now. Mike Deeney and Paco Lopez are 27% together. So, there are other alternatives, Seth, to Opalina, but I think right now at least she's better than these. And I think with Luis Saez getting aboard, and she's going to be a lot closer with a much better post position than last time, she's going to be really tough to beat in here. So we go 5-7-3 in the Ginger Brew to end that early pick 5 and early pick 4.
All right, let's take a break, and then we'll head into Rainbow Six territory when we come back. Stay tuned. The Handicapper Report kicks off the new year, and we continue right after this. Having trouble finding us? It's actually quite simple. Whether online or on your TV, it's never been easier to watch and wager on championship horse racing with Capital OTB. Simply log on to capitalotbbet.com. There you can watch our morning shows, live stream races, and wager on our state-of-the-art wagering platform. You can also watch from the comfort of your home on Spectrum Cable Channel 1250 or Fios Channel 467, and win more with Capital OTB. Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. Seth Merrow in the studio, Brian Nadeau live from Florida. I didn't ask you, what's your weather like today?
Seth, I mean, not to bust your chops too much, but it's literally been like 82 degrees every single day. There were a few cold nights where it got into the low 50s, but it's been about 80, 82, 83 degrees every single day of the championship meet. I think it's probably rained a combined like 45 minutes combined since we kicked off the championship meet on December 3rd. So knock on wood, I looked at the weather this morning. There's like not a speck of rain in the forecast at all. So it's been great. I think we were washed off the turf one day, but the main track was fast. There was like a flash storm for like 10 minutes one day. That has been it. So knock on wood, everything's been a dream down here weather-wise, and we couldn't possibly ask for anything more. As you know how South Florida can work sometimes.
Excellent. I can't complain today, though. I was telling you off the air. As I drove in, my dashboard thermometer was reading 47. So 47 on New Year's Day. No complaints here either. But let's jump into it. Not that it's 80, but it's for New Year's Day. I'll live with it up here. Let's kick back in. Rainbow Six action starts in race number 6. It's a conditional claimer on the synthetic for sprinters going 5 furlongs.
28374. It's a spread race in here. I went Campiador on top. By the way, Rainbow is up to $1 million gross guarantee now. If I missed that, because it's starting to get up big balloons now, and take your shot, because as you and I talk quite a bit, Seth, there's a lot of money in there now with the carryover, and you can turn that. Ron likes to make that 43.20 ticket, and maybe you turn that into 1,200 or 800 or so. And I don't know about today. It's a tough sequence today, but just take note of that. Back to the race. Campiador. I mean, I thought this horse ran pretty well, Seth. Son of Jack Milton, first time facing winners. I alluded to it earlier. It can be a tough ask on a horse, and it took him 12 starts to break through, and he comes back, and he's a bang-up third for 12.5 at this level. There's no world beaters in here, and I don't see why he can't move forward off that and be a problem for these. Emma Crack on the outside at 3-1 as a first-time gelding. Like, he's got a lot of chances at the level, and he hasn't broken through. So I respect him, but at 1 for 13, we got 5 underneath finishes. I mean, tread a little lightly there. War Feather. I don't know where the last race came from, but I'll tell you this: if he runs it back, he's probably going to win. But you got to worry about the bounce. But if you take it at face value, you're going to get fair value on a horse that was 27 last time and ran a race that today makes him probably 3-1. Lucky has a 7s in the mix with Jaramillo, and we'll go He's Royalty as well. You kind of pick up what I'm putting down, Seth. It's a spread race to me to kick off the Rainbow. Probably the deepest spread in the Rainbow as well in the actual order. 2, 8, 5-3-7-4.
Sounds good. Let's turn the page and head to race number 7, the Limehouse. $100,000 up for grabs for the 3-year-olds going 3/4 of a mile.
6-5-3-7, and I'm just as a fan rooting for Concrete Glory. I don't think you would remember this, Seth, and I'm not sure you would pick up on this as as a viewer. What happened last time is this horse, I think, was missing or threw 2 shoes, definitely 1, maybe 2, possibly 3. Long story short, he's still in the tunnel getting reshod. Ron and I were watching it as there's like 0 minutes to post, and they weren't sure if he was going to run him. Then he finally gets out there. He gets to the gate. He's behind everybody. He breaks slow. You can see in his past performances he wants to be involved early. And what does he do? He just comes running late. And I was so impressed with the effort. I'm kind of just hoping he fires again today. He's a cool horse. He's got 3 giant dirt races showing and a dud at Tampa in the stakes. He showed last time he doesn't need the lead to run a big race. He'll probably be square price today, too. I like him in here. I just was so impressed with such a terrible set of circumstances last time. Concrete Glory top. Lightning Larry is in really good form with good numbers for Jeff Engler. And, all 3 of those recent races would play in here. I think he is the horse to beat. Number 3, Oh Captain, aired on debut in August, but hasn't been seen since, and now really gets the acid test. And Bueno from the outside off a huge turf figure and run for Jack Sisterson. Does have 2 wins, which I like, but really the dirt races aren't as good as that turf race. We'll see what we get today. 6-5-3-7 to me. Of a Revolution, I should say, is in third, for Sappy, 2 for 2. But he's going to have to run faster, too. Boy, it's a tough race, Seth. I want a little value with Concrete Glory.
Yeah, Bueno. I went 3-5-4-6 in here, and I had Bueno in the mix. And the folks who look at my page, they see I crossed it out, and then I went back. And what do you make of the horse who, has a little bit of a layoff? And I talk about these kind all the time. These lightly raced 2-year-olds, when they get a layoff like this, they can come back improved. Well, improved off of what? The dirt numbers or the turf number? I didn't know what to do with Bueno. That's the real puzzle in that field to me. And I'm going to be interested to see what he winds up doing. But the 8th race at Gulfstream this afternoon, again, conditional claimers on the synthetic at 1.70 miles.
Good segue, Seth, because Jack Sisterson trains Bueno, and he's got a skew in here, which is my best bet of the day. It's a single in the late pick 5. I had this horse last time, and he grinded out a win. He faces tougher today, winners today, but there's no one here to be scared of, and he's only run twice. She has only run twice. And the only time she's run on Tapeta, she just, freaked compared to her maiden race on the dirt at Churchill. She's with her friends in here for a tag. I think Askew's in a really good spot to double up again over a group that is, tough to trust. Tidal Waters stretches out, and maybe she gets brave on the lead and drops as well. I don't know how far she wants to run, but, she has decent enough turf/Tapeta form to say she could be a player in here. La Rusia gets Saez for Barboza. Seth 1 for 26 with 11 seconds. I mean, no, thank you. And then the 2 perfect Kimberly S is in the mix too. But, I singled the skew. It looks like one of those races, Seth, where, you could use 6 or 7 of them too. I'll just go with the one I know likes the track and is getting better. That's Askew, my play of the day.
Very good. Race number 9, back to stakes action in the Dania Beach. We kick off that subdivision I like quite a bit, 3-year-olds on the turf, and this is one of the reasons I like them. They compete all year long at venues all across the country in nice stakes action, and typically you get a few months into the year and you'll get 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6 who have kind of elevated themselves to the top, and they start to knock heads. It's just a really fun division, I think, and we kick it off down in Florida for 2022 in the Dania Beach. $100,000 up for grabs, a mile on the turf for those 3-year-olds.
It's 8-5-2-4 for me, and go back and watch the trip of Grand Sonata last time, and I mean he was really up against it. He had a lot of trouble repeatedly, and I still thought he ran big to be a close 5th. last time in the stakes at Aqueduct. Now, the outside post is not ideal. I get that. But he's also not a horse that really wants to mix it up early. So I would hope Tyler Gaffleone, before they get that quick run to the first turn, can get over, get some position on Grand Sonata. It's going to be key if he can do that. I think the son of Medaglia d'Oro is out of an AP mare. I mean, an absolute monster pedigree. Whisper Hill Farm homebred here. It's got a big say. Chansu for Pletcher is a threat to wire these if they let him go early. I mean, he blew him off sprinting on the turf in his turf debut last time. So he's clearly got the speed to clear. With that being said, there's speed to his inside, and I'm wondering, if they let him go. If they do, he might not come back over this turf course. That can be very speedy. So I think he's a must-use. Smoking Tea is down inside for Shug, and he's not going to let anyone get too far away. I like that turf win last time. He's experienced with 4 starts. He's by Warfront out of a Go Sapper mare. Big pedigree here as well. And then Biz Buzz is in here as well for your guy Trombo. And I think he's a player off that last race if he can double up on it in the pulpit. Red Danger would be favored in here. He was odds on in that race last time. 8-5-2-4 in the Dania Beach.
Race number 10, the Mucho Macho Man, 3-year-olds going a mile.
6-2 over the 5 for me. And in graphic detail, I thought he ran so well on debut, Seth. And I know he was tracking a pretty intense speed duel that Triple Elvis won, like won the battle, lost the war kind of angle. But graphic detail still to make up about 4 lengths off the far turn. And, Bill Mott's not a guy that cranks him early. I was impressed with his kind of resolute run through the lane, steps up, stretches out. But you look at, he's a practical joke out of a Dixie Union mare. A 1-turn mile should be his thing. And, the fact whenever a Bill Mott runner wins on debut, Seth, I think you got to take a second look because to me, they're only going one way. And I like graphic detail in here. Strike Hard is a very good horse. Or young trainer, Matt Williams, who's done a good job down here. Added blinkers last time, and he just blasted a good field where, they liked AP Secret, Sappy's runner. Skippy Longstocking was bet that day too. And Strike Hard just blasted him for fun. And if he runs back to that race, he's going to be a real handful for these. Because, let's just be honest, it's not the best Mucho Macho Man field we've ever seen, okay? It's a tight 6-pack in here, and he's clearly got the best overall body of work. So he's the one to beat without a doubt for me. And then number 5, I already mentioned, Skippy Longstocking for Sappy. Going to put the blinkers on. Sappy's admitted, we got to bridge the gap to Strike Hard, and I'm not sure if we can do it, but it's kind of the old put up or shut up time for a horse that they like. They took the Churchill Downs to try the street sense going 2 turns. Didn't really work out, but he's been pretty good at 1 turn. At this 1-turn mile, maybe the blinkers sharpen him up a little bit early, and he makes a dent in here. But let's go graphic detail. 6-2 over the 5 in the Mucho Macho Man.
11th race closes out the card about 5:15 today. They're on the synthetic at 1 1/16 for plain vanilla $10,000 claimers.
3-5-4-6 on tread off the Delgado claim. Paco is here. The barn doesn't make a lot of claims, but is 3 for 8, 44%, 4 for 9 with Paco riding down here at Gulfstream. So in the races he comes out of are fast enough to win this, and if he improves, the rest better have their running shoes on. The 5 Farley is in the mix off a good fast second last time. I don't really know where it came from. He might bounce a little bit today, but I already mentioned Antonio Sano on the synthetic on the Tapita. It's a good thing. Number 4, Timmy M off the claim for Danny Pita. Danny Pita, very low percentage trainer, but he's up to 4 wins now at the championship meet. So take note of that. And then number 6, Marissa's Mission underneath in the mix off a 3L win last time, but now stepping into open waters, going to get a lot deeper. 3-5-4-6 to end it. 11 races, 5 stakes for 3-year-olds. A lot going on here today at Gulfstream Park, and really looking forward to it. So.
You mentioned Danny Pita, well, worth watching maybe on the trainer side. I'll mention on the jockey side. I heard you and Acacia mention Chantal Sutherland. I think it was yesterday, and she came up with a couple of wins there. And not knocking it out of the park percentage-wise, but she's going to be fun to watch at this meet. And I said it coming into the meet. she had that 2-month stretch where she really came into this championship meet going very well. But now the big guns come to town, so it's going to be interesting to see what she could do. But I think she's established herself with a lot of the local trainers down there, and that allows her in some of these undercard races to be on some live horses. And again, it's not like a super high percentage or anything, but I think she's kind of holding her own despite having moved into championship meet territory now. And that's kind of fun to see because, again, that couple of month period that she had, I was labeling as kind of a career resurgence.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about it, Seth. You hit it perfectly. She did do a really good job this summer, and she built some relationships with horsemen that are going to put her on a lot of horses. Jorge Delgado is one of them. And don't forget, too, I don't have the exact number. She was somewhere around 1 for 45, 1 for 50 to start the championship meet. So if you really want to do the math and you take that out of the equation, she's really riding a lot better in the last, we'll call it about 3 weeks. She won the nightcap on back-to-back days. Last week, might have been 2 weeks ago now. And you're right. You know, she's starting to find her footing a little bit. And so regardless of what her numbers are, you know, lop off that first, we'll call it 6 or 8 days of the meet, and she's really that much better. And you're right. And the undercard races especially, you know, look for her at solid prices for some of her trainers that ride her. And she's kind of carved out her niche there, and she's done a good job. And her agent's done a good job putting her on a lot of live. She's done a lot of live horses.
Yeah, going to be fun to watch her for the remainder of the meet. All right, Brian, we'll let you go because we know with the noon post time, you have to head over to Gulfstream and get there a little bit early. So we appreciate your thoughts this morning. Good luck this afternoon. We will, of course, talk again next week.
Sounds good, Seth. Happy New Year to you, everybody back home as well. Be safe, be healthy, and pick some winners today, too. We'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds good. Brian Nadeau from live from Florida. Again, nice out here. It's 47 degrees. We're still a little envious, though, looking down at 80s and whatnot. And so we continue the envy afternoons, watching a little Gulfstream, a little Tampa. I saw Joe Christofek yesterday at Fairgrounds. He was in shirt sleeve. And I have a sister who lives in Arkansas. Right around Christmas, they were at 70 degrees down there. So everybody enjoying a nice, spring in late December, early January period, including us. Not 80s, but 47 on New Year's Day is okay. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we will shift our attention to Aqueduct for Saturday afternoon. Stay tuned.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes. In front, but here comes High Chaparral. High Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to Bob. These two arch rivals head to head with Joe Hart bearing down on them. It's going to be a 3-horse photo finish to the turn. Here's the wire. Photo finish.
The Clubhouse Racebook is the Capital Region's new home for racing and sports. 25,000 square feet of Vegas-style action with live wagering on the best horse racing from around the world. 260 flat-screen televisions and state-of-the-art wagering terminals. So don't miss out. The fun is only minutes away at 711 Central Avenue, Albany, just off exit 5 of I-90. And don't forget, if you can't make it to the Clubhouse, you can always wager online 24/7 at capitalotv.com.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Welcome back to the Handicapper Report on New Year's Day 2022 with lots of great racing coming up. I will, of course, have OTB live this afternoon. Gulfstream, as Brian said, kicks off at 12. Aqueduct kicks off at 12:20. Oaklawn will kick off at 1:30 our time. There's a really nice Santa Anita card, the Sham on the 3-year-old side today. And again, we'll be talking about that. Top of the hour, Dave Litvin will join us. He does the nice handicapping column for the Blood Horse. And for this week's column, he was concentrating on some of the 3-year-old stakes action today, so we'll hit on those stakes with Dave, and we'll also be joined by Terry Finley, get his reaction to just a phenomenal performance last Sunday from Flightline, owned with West Point and partners, and just, again, it was a 118 buyer, really an eye-popping performance, so we'll talk about that. Also want to alert you today here at the Clubhouse Racebook, a couple of things. There's a win-a-bet promotion. Come down and maybe have a little extra fun for the afternoon, but it's also the NYRA calendar giveaway. So if you'd like a 2022 NYRA calendar, stop by the Clubhouse Racebook today, 711 Central Avenue, and pick up your calendar for this 2022 year. And again, nice. They always do a great job with the NYRA calendar. So that's today at the Clubhouse Racebook. All right, let's jump in to Aqueduct action on this Saturday afternoon. A 9-race card will go from 12:20 to 4:20. The opener today at Aqueduct, $10,000 claimers going 9 furlongs. I have it 6, 2, 5, and 4. I put Noble Thought on top. It's that time of year where if you have a turf horse, you have to take some shots on the dirt, or put your horse away, or head to Florida. And I think for probably some outfits, the head to Florida is just not a real option. It just doesn't make economic sense. So it's either give it a shot on the dirt and see what happens, and if you get a positive result, you can race through the winter, or give it a shot on dirt, and if you don't get a positive result, you put your horse away for the winter and come back for the turf season. Well, this one, mostly turf until the last couple of starts. They went over the dirt 2 starts back, ran a well-beaten fourth, but fourth in a field of 8, and they just kept pushing on and said, let's continue trying the dirt. They were on the muddy track last time and got the win. The buyer number jumped forward a little bit. It was off going down there yesterday. I would think probably there'll still be some moisture in the track. We'll see, but I just thought off the last couple of starts, this horse has now kind of proven himself on dirt. I'll go in that direction. Potantico in the second spot. Had a layoff from middle of June to middle of November. Ran 4th on the comeback behind a front runner winner in Blewett last time, who pulled away from the field. This one just missed 2nd behind Twisted Tom, who's also kind of talented, a little beyond his most talented period. But all that said, I thought the comeback effort was maybe better than the losing margin looked. So that one with the race under the belt off the layoff is a player. And then Runabout hasn't been seen since July 2nd, but was in good form just prior to going to the sidelines. Did leave the scene with a voided claim, and those always leave me, you get the voided claim, and then, let's not show up again for 6 months, and then come back, at a lower level. Now, coming back at a lower level, but off the layoff, does get the waiver, so that maybe works in your favor if you like that. That said, it's a horse where you can go either way on this one, but I think tough to leave it out of the mix. Opener at Aqueduct today, I have it 6, 2, 5, and 4. Race number 2 at Aqueduct, State Bred Maiden Claimers. They're going 6.5. In race 2, I have it 6, 3, 7, and 8. I will put KT Gal on top. There's a sibling called Two Boss that was 2nd in debut and then won the 2nd start of the career. It was for the same connections. It was just about a year ago, going 7 furlongs at Aqueduct in a maiden special weight. Now this one debuts for the maiden tag. That's maybe a little bit of a concern, but they're probably at the right level. And will this horse be taken today? I don't know, but I thought there was a little bit of breeding. And Todd Pletcher, who can have him ready first time out, I'll tilt towards that one. In here. In the second slot, I will go for our friend Roddy Valente and Doc Rock. Moves from maiden special weight into maiden claimers. And, the numbers that this one has fired as compared to others that have had some experience look pretty good. There are a couple in here that kind of match up. But again, I thought with the class move, you give a little bonus. Third spot, Raymond Road. Another one making that class move, as is Cricket West. They both have 3 starts under the belt and have the potential, on the class move to maybe bounce forward a little bit, which will put them right in the thick of things here. But I'll go with the first-time starter, who is maybe a little bit interesting on breeding and with pleasure training. In the second race at Aqueduct, I have it 6, 3, 7, and 8. Race number 3 at Aqueduct on Saturday afternoon. 12-5 claimers going 3/4 of a mile. In the third, for me, 5, 8, 2, and 4. I have dark money on top. Another one coming off a voided claim, but as compared to the one that sat out for 6 months, this one was last seen on November 5th. A little more of a palatable layoff. So I think this one, and I will say also the voided claim was a nice big win. So, and I should also note, and I've complained about this before, there should be, and if there is, I haven't been alerted, but there should be some place that explains these voided claims, because sometimes it's just paperwork. But sometimes the horse comes back and there's a little bit of a ding that allows the claim to be voided. So, and there's a significant difference in how you should read that situation then. But given that this horse came off of a nice win, and like I say, it wasn't a long time ago, I'll go in that direction. Second slot, Munaki, off the claim, hasn't been seen since the end of August. That's maybe a little bit of a concern, because again, you don't claim for 12-5 and think, yeah, let's sit off from August until January 1st. String of workouts underneath aren't really indicating anything. You know, you look for, hey, a couple of strong workouts, say, the horse is coming back ready to roll. Well, the last couple of workouts aren't really giving that kind of indication, but trainer's going well at the meet. This horse was going well prior to the claim. I'll put that one in the mix with some trepidation. And Stanhope goes out for Rudy Rodriguez, shows plenty of early speed on the turf in the most recent races. The dirt form is maybe a little more suspect, but again, does have some early speed. Gets a 10-pound apprentice on board, and I say it often. You get these apprentices 10, 7 pounds. They don't have a lot of experience. The best horses for me that they can ride are those horses with early speed, where the trainer can say, you know, you don't have to worry about strategy. You're just going as fast as you can, as far as you can. So we'll see if Stanhope can make the turf to dirt move and hold that early speed. And the apprentice jockey does get and follow those launch and don't look back instructions. In the third at Aqueduct, I have it 5, 8, 2, and 4. Fourth race at Aqueduct, starter allowance, 6 furlongs is the trip. I have it 1, 5, 8, and 4. I thought the 3 might be a little bit interesting as well. And the 3, beyond a little bit interesting, the 3 may wind up taking a lot of the action. And so it's worth mentioning. I'm not going to argue anybody off the 3. But I took a little pop with Enter Sandwoman. Has the ability, as shown last time down at Churchill, to perhaps stalk and pounce in a race where there seems to be plenty of early speed. Casilda 40 Tails, Violent Vixen, the Goddess of Snakes, Early Edition, all have the potential to show some early speed. And given the way the track has played in the last couple of days, maybe one of these will sneak ahead, or maybe one of these halfway on the turn starts to edge ahead and then becomes tough to reel in. But that said, I don't think Enter Sandwoman is going to be way in the back and really have to make up, you know, a come from the clouds kind of a situation. As I say, I think this one maybe stalks and pounces in a race where there is a lot of early speed. So I'll take a little shot, number 1. Number 2, Casilda 40 Tails is one of those front runners potentially, and this one took the lead last time, ran away and hid, going 7 at Aqueduct. I think is going to fit nicely with this field, and among the speeds, maybe that one that kind of sneaks away. In the third spot, Early Edition, also a front-running victor in the last start. That was at a 40 maiden tag down at Parks, and so for this one, the class is maybe the question mark, and the last race was a little bit of an aberration. The number jumped up significantly, so I'm kind of hoping the horse has maybe turned the corner and just gotten this good. We'll find out more this afternoon, though. In the fourth at Aqueduct, 1, 5, 8, and 4. Fifth race this afternoon kicks off the late pick 5. Keep that in mind if you're enjoying the pick bets. The fifth race state bred maiden specials, they are going 6 furlongs. Newly turned 3-year-olds will have this period now where the maiden races will be 4 3-year-olds, newly turned 3-year-olds, and this is kicking that situation off. I have it, excuse me, in the fifth at Aqueduct, 7, 1, 6, and 3. I'll put Relate on top. Steve Asmussen, Stone Street, they paid well over $600,000 for this horse. By Connect. Connect is a sire I like as producing win early types. This one ran 4th in debut. We all know the Asmussen horses can improve in their second start. At the OBS sale, this one worked 20.3. So I think there's a little win early here, and with the connections and the breeding and whatnot, attracted a big number after a big work at the sale. Should benefit from the education in the debut. I'll put Relate on top. Impressionist in the second spot. Comes out of the same race as Relate. They both debuted back on December 5th. This one finished just slightly ahead of my top pick. Rob Atras, very talented, very good. To me, the Asmussen barn is maybe a little more notable for second out starters. So I tilted in that direction. Impressionist, though, very playable in here. Pineapple Man in the third spot also comes out of that race, same race as the top 2 picks. This one faded to 8th, but did have the lead early after having gotten a little trouble at the start. Comes in off a bullet workout. At worst, this one is going to be improved today. The 8th in the field at 12 last time, beaten 18 lengths. Going to run better than that. But how much better, and will that speed be far more potent with this one under the belt? We'll find out, but I certainly think we will get an improved effort. Fifth race at Aqueduct, 7, 1, 6, and 3. That takes us to our last break. We will take that, come back, and continue our look at Aqueduct. Stay tuned.
Where's the best place to find your favorite teams, your favorite food, daily drink specials, and wagering on live horse racing? Legends Field Sports Bar, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Get your game on day or night with 75 flat screen TVs, tournament-style pool tables, a private banquet room, and live horse racing. So if someone asks you, where's the best sports bar in the capital region? Tell them Legends Field Sports Bar, inside the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. I'm Seth Merrow. Thanks for joining us. And again, Happy New Year's. The sixth race at Aqueduct on this first day of the year is a $12,500 plain vanilla claimer. 6 furlongs is the distance. In race number 6, I have it 9, 3, 8, and 2. I'll put Miss Alpha on top. I've said it for a couple of weeks, and it's been a mixed bag at best. But I think the Finger Lakes shippers this time of year fit down in New York and can get it done, sometimes get overlooked. Most of the year, I really like to move from Naira Tracks to Finger Lakes the other way, not so much. Although at Saratoga, you see a couple of Finger Lakes shippers win every year, usually at a price, because everybody kind of feels like Finger Lakes to Naira is tough, the Saratoga tougher. But this time of year, I think the Finger Lakes shippers can make a little bit of noise. This one comes in for Chris Engelhart. Lots of early speed from the outside. We'll see if this one can potentially take them all the way. Summer Bourbon comes off the claim for Linda Rice. Claimed for 16, drops in for 12.5. That's maybe a little bit of a concern, but seems in pretty good form over the last few starts. Going back to July, a couple of wins 3 and 4 starts ago, then a second, then a third. Claimed out of that third place finish last time. Had the lead for much of the race before fading a little bit. Again, I just think this horse seems to be in good form going back, as I say, to late midsummer, and that, you know, the November race that the horse was claimed out of, beaten favorite that day, third. So as I say, the little bit of a drop off the claim is maybe a concern, but person claim that economically, it would all add up okay. More speed from Fleet Warrior, the number 8 horse, also coming in from Finger Lakes. Has a little bit of Aqueduct form underneath. 14 starts at Aqueduct and a couple of wins. So not knocking it out of the park necessarily at Aqueduct, but again, has proven to be a winner down in New York. And again, at the Finger Lakes, tended to show a little bit of early speed, so could be intriguing as well. In the 6th at Aqueduct, 9, 3, 8, and 2. Race number 7 on Saturday afternoon. State bred optional claimer, non-winners of 2 other than. I have it 2, 5, 9, and 8 in race 7. I put Big Bobby on top. Goes out for locally based Dreammaker Racing. Bill Mott trainee. Lightly raced in the career, but has yet to miss the exacta. So pretty good runner for some local connections. Couple of wins, 4 seconds and 6 starts. Close up second last time on the move to Aqueduct in a very similar event. Luis Saez was on board that day. Well, Luis is down in Florida, so you lose Luis, you pick up Jose Ortiz. So I think they're okay there. Big Bobby on top. Bronx Bomber, nice third place finish last time, just behind the top pick. Trevor McCarthy was on board that day. He's back on board again today. And then in the third slot, more grateful. Rob Atris, runner. Claim 2 back, went in the $40,000 claim, open claimer last time and ran an okay third. So I thought off the claim, pretty good race, pretty good number. We can follow that up with a similar event. I think is going to be a good fit with this bunch. Stepping out of allowance company, Roddy Valente has Bust and Shout, who I think could be interesting, again, on the class move. Got 8-1 there. This is a kind of a competitive race where I think you can point to another 2 or 3 and make a case. So it's a fun race. It's a race I think potentially you can find a little bit of value in, but I will go with Big Bobby on top. 2, 5, 9, and 8 in the 7th. 8th race. It's the Jerome. We kick off the 3-year-old season in New York. $150,000 up for grabs. The 1-turn mile. 8, 1, 7, and 6 for me. I put Hagler on top. Goes out for Rudy Rodriguez. Debuted in May. Ran second in the maiden special race. Then laid off until October. And again, lightly raced 2-year-old. You get a little bit of a break. Sometimes you come back improved. This one did. The buyer number jumped up a little bit. Nice win against maiden specials in October. Then comes back in an optional claimer, non-winners of 1. Takes that as well. We've gone from 5 to 6.5 to 7 furlongs. Now stretched to the mile. I just think this horse is in a good spot to continue that progression and winning record, winning streak. Had 2 for the last 2. We'll see if this one can go 3 for 3 over the last few starts. Cook Creek on the inside. Couple of starts at Delaware, broke the maiden, then won a little stakes race and ran second last time in the Nashua behind Rockefeller, who shows up in the Sham out in Southern California at Santa Anita today. So you may be able to get a little bit of a barometer on Rockefeller with the performance this afternoon from Cook Creek. Mr. Jefferson in the 3rd spot. Well beaten in the Remsen, ran 4th behind Mo Donegal and Zandon, but the way both of them ran, I think they're going to be really interesting 3-year-olds this year. So running behind them, probably not insulting to the reputation necessarily. The win down at Laurel just before, says the Mike Trombetta trainee, might fit nicely with this group this afternoon. Courvoisier, I think, is a player also for Kelly Green, coming off the maiden breaker last time and cutting back to the mile. In the Jerome this afternoon, race number 8. 8-1, 7 and 6. Race number 9 today, State Bred Allowance Runners going 6. I have it 1, 8, 10, and 6. I put Big Time Lady on top for Ray Handel. Off the Claim. I just thought overall this horse looks pretty good. Won last time, claimed, moves into tougher company. I've said it a number of times. I love that move, State Bred Allowance into Open Claimer. It's a little tougher the other way. This one is making it the other way, but doing it in good form and has some State Bred Allowance races underneath that are okay. So we'll look for this horse to maybe hold or improve the form from the last race, rebounding to some of those prior State Bred Allowance efforts. I think this horse, again, an intriguing runner at an 8-1 morning line. Second spot, Highway Queen, one of those horses that is going to give the dirt a try after most of the career on the turf, but it's that time of year. However, if you go back to the off-the-turfer at Saratoga this summer, this horse should be a pretty good fit in with this bunch. And then in the third spot, Okay Honey, has run most of the career at NYRA, had a couple of Finger Lakes races, 2 and 3 starts back. They were pretty good. Then came back down to Aqueduct on a muddy track and threw in a real clunker, but did have some trouble. I think the horse is better than that. I'm going to hope for a rebound to better form. I'm not sure we'll get it, but I think you'll get the price to play around with that one. So in the 9th at Aqueduct for me, 1, 8, 10, and 6. All right, that takes you through both Aqueduct and Gulfstream. Don't forget, you can always, if you didn't get a chance to write down some of the numbers or whatnot, you can always pick up the Capital OTB one sheet. Go to the website, capitalotb.com. Click on the handicapping link, then click on Handicapper Support. Nice printable sheet every day with selections from Gulfstream, NYRA, other tracks, and as I say, nice printable sheet. You can find it here. We hand it out every day at the Racebook. Speaking of the Racebook, don't forget, win a bet contest today here at the Racebook and the NYRA calendar giveaway. That all happens here today at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. And as we wrap up, we once again want to thank our friends at Gulfstream for their sponsorship during the championship meet. Gulfstream Park sponsoring some of the programming and events here at Capital OTB. We appreciate their support. All right, I'm going to wrap it up again. Top of the hour, racing across America. Dave Litvin looking at some of the 3-year-old stakes. Terry Finley taking a little rewind and recap of Flightline last week. Spectacular performance in the Malibu. That all starts at the top of the hour, so stay tuned for that. We will see you shortly.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off-Track Betting.